On a quiet summer afternoon in 1983, on the back deck of a Washington home, a moment of American resilience and tragedy was captured. James Brady, former White House press secretary, sits in a wheelchair, his life forever altered by a bullet intended for President Ronald Reagan 2 years earlier. Standing beside him is Don Reagan, then Secretary of the Treasury, a man on his own rise to power, destined to become President Reagan's chief of staff and later fall from grace in a battle with Nancy Reagan herself. Seated across from Brady, another figure leans in, drink in hand, part of a gathering that feels at once casual and historic. But behind the warm handshakes and polite smiles lies the undercurrent of an America grappling with the violence of its modern history. Only a few years earlier, Governor George Wallace had been wheeled into the White House, himself a victim of political violence, a reminder that in this era, bullets often reshaped American lives as much as ballots. Assassination attempts had become woven into the country's narrative, from John and Robert Kennedy to Martin Luther King to Reagan and Brady. James Brady would never fully recover. Yet, together with his wife, Sarah Brady, he turned personal tragedy into national advocacy. Their tireless campaign for gun control led to the passage of the Brady Bill in 1993, establishing federal background checks for firearm purchases, a milestone that continues to shape American law. Sarah Brady stood by his side until her death in 2015. Their son, Scott Brady, carries on their legacy quietly today, a private guardian of a very public fight. Don Reagan, once so close to the center of power, would eventually be forced from the White House, a casualty not of violence, but of political warfare. And James Brady, even in death, made history one last time. When he passed away in 2014, the coroner ruled his death a homicide, a final official acknowledgment of that gunman's act decades earlier. In this single frame, on this simple deck, we glimpse the weight of personal courage, the long shadow of American violence, and the enduring hope that tragedy might yet be turned into change. The camera lingers. The sunlight softens. And the American story, battered but unbroken, continues.